Welcome back to Better Together as One. We have a really special guest with us now, someone who all of us are going to learn from. This incredible registered practical nurse, Tracy Schofield, is actually a survivor of COVID. And I know, Claire, you've heard her story. It's a powerful one, and we're really excited to share it today.
Welcome, Tracy. How are you?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
Amazing.
Hello, everyone.
Well, I know it's been a long journey for you. There's no question, and we'll get a little more into depth with that for sure. But Tracy, sort of explain to us a little bit about your role as a nurse. I know you're a new nurse in the sense of you decided to become a nurse a little bit later in life, and then where you've been working and when you sort of discovered that you had COVID.
Okay, I actually work for agencies, so I work in different long-term care and retirement homes, just basically wound care and giving meds. I found out on March 30th, I had gone to work in the morning. I'd worked at one home. This is back when you could move different homes. I worked at one home for Saturday and Sunday that weekend. Monday morning, got up, went to work at a different home. That night, I was driving home. It was probably about 3:30. And I started to clear my throat. It just kept going. I was talking to one of my girlfriends on the phone and I kept coughing and clearing my throat out of nowhere. I was fine all day. They checked my temperature in the morning. I was 36.5, no issues. And then I felt tired. I took my temperature again around 7 and I was 37.6. So it had gone up. Thought I was tired, needed to go to sleep for a bit. I went to sleep it was probably around close to 7:30. I woke up at 9:40 and I was coughing, full on coughing. Every time I talked, I would gasp for air. So a few words would go and then I would gasp. My temperature was then 38.5. And I called telehealth, and that's when they suggested, just with my breathing, that I needed to go to the hospital. And I did go. My son, my 25-year-old, drove me in the front seat with a mask and gloves on. I was in the back with the mask and gloves on with the window open. He dropped me off, and that was, I can't even explain to you what that feeling was like because, I get dropped off at the hospital by myself. Nobody can come in,
Right.
and you're alone. And I didn't know if I was coming out of that hospital. I had no idea what was going to go on next.
Mhm.
So that's
So
how it started.
yeah, incredible, the speed, right? In
Oh,
what happened. So did you sort of feel, did you think that this is probably what you were facing, that you probably had contracted COVID?
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I had
Okay.
no
Yeah.
idea where from. At that point, the home I'd worked at, they didn't have any signs or anything of it.
Mhm.
I finally found out the day before my, like when the public health called me on the 1st, they had declared an outbreak on the 31st. So the day before that I got my results back, there was an outbreak declared there. So obviously later that evening after my shift, somebody must have gotten sick. They swabbed them, but not knowing, I went to another home. So I could have easily taken it to that home, and I felt horrible. That was the worst feeling for me. I wasn't even
Yeah.
worried about myself. At that point, I was worried about if I took it to that home because,
Mhm.
chances are someone's going to get sick and, they're not going to make it. So that was my worst fear.
Mhm.
You
No, for
know,
sure.
Tracy, your story is unbelievable. And I'm getting tearful because as a healthcare professional, you're so right. You go into this field and you left sales to go into nursing later in your career because you care about people. And then to think because of the way the system is set up that you ended up potentially, in fact, could have potentially infected someone else. My heart breaks for you, but I really think that, the message you're giving is so important that you're a strong, young, beautiful woman, and this hit you hard and fast. Can you tell us a little bit more about how long this has been going on, and then let's talk about your recovery.
Yeah, the real part of it where I was really sick and, I would literally go to sleep at night not knowing if I was going to wake up. My kids commenting, my mom is better now, getting better now, but it wasn't looking good for her for a while. That's kind of scary to hear. It lasted probably 8 days. I finally got my last fever. It was going up. It was 39.6 when I checked it at that point. I would get as high as 40.1. 39.6, I couldn't do it. And I said to myself, that's it. I got my 17-year-old to run down, grab me ice packs. He threw them to my bed. Put them all around me with cold cloths, Tylenol, because I only took Tylenol.
Mhm.
And I brought it down that day. And it came all the way down to 36.5. And I never got a temperature again until about week 4, and then it was a mild one. Nothing. They don't know why. They did blood work. They did chest x-rays. It never hit my lungs. My lungs were clear the whole
Thank
time.
heavens.
Yes.
Thank
And
heavens.
I think that was definitely, I don't smoke, I don't take meds, none of that stuff. So, whether that's why, I don't know. But yeah, that was the hardest part. Now, 76 days total was when I got my last second negative that I needed to be able to actually go back to work and to be clear of COVID.
Wow.
Crazy. So Tracy, talk to us a little bit about then what recovery looked like for you, like in regards to just, you're gaining your lung capacity back and how you actually you got yourself to feeling a little bit stronger after being so weak and low.
Yeah. When you're not moving for a long period of time, I mean, that's part of it. I know that. It's not just the fact that I had COVID. It was the fact I was in bed for like basically 2 weeks straight of not moving. I started walking. Walking for me, though, if I walk up my stairs, I'm out of breath. Talking to someone on the phone and saying, just a second, and then I sit down. Even going to the hospital there a few weeks ago, we walked to the room that they put me in. And before I could tell them anything, I had to sit there for a second just to, catch my breath. It's because I was wearing a mask at that point. It's not when I'm walking. If I'm outside walking, which I do, almost daily, I try and push myself. I'm bad for that. And, the first few times I went, I thought I was going to end up passing out on the sidewalk. I felt that bad. I didn't think I'd make it home. Probably pushed myself too much. I'm trying to realize, I can't do that. I mean, I'm used to it. I play sports. So it's hard for me, but I'm just basically walking, getting my energy level back. My energy level, I am go, go, go all the time. That's what I've always been. And I don't have that energy to do that anymore. It just, I don't know, between being in bed, between being sick, between fighting this, all of it. It's just, I try and eat a banana a day just to keep my potassium okay. Drink orange juice, taking vitamin D, things like that. I have probiotics. I'm not one to take, I'll be honest, I've never really taken vitamins before. I don't take anything, and it's something different for me. So I got to remember to take it. They put me on daily dose, low dose aspirin. So they've got me on that until after my MRI. So because I've had some issues there as well. But yeah, it's just a slow, I'm just shocked that this is, I'm still shocked. Every day I think to myself, how did this happen to me? How did it happen? I can't believe it still.
Well, Tracy, your story is important to share. We're grateful that you're on the road to recovery, although it may be slower than you'd like it to be. We want to thank you for coming on the show. And you know what? We want to have you back because we got to tell your whole story and dive in a little bit deeper to what it was like, not only to be a nurse and to experience that on the inside, but also to be recovering from COVID. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you for having me.
So, of course, we are always better together as one here. And stay tuned because we've got more great shows coming your way. Until we see you next time, be well.